Welcome back to Moon Harbor Heroes. Today's issue is Cataclysm Crew, issue 13, Those Meddling Kids. On the cover, we see the new Cataclysm Crew as Scooby-Doo characters in a large, ornate hallway. Leading the group, Amber wears a blue jumpsuit and a yellow ascot as Fred. Behind her, in an orange shirt, holding a portal like a magnifying glass, we have Al as Velma, followed by Lucy in a purple dress as Daphne. Taking up the rear are Max in green and Squire in a collar as Shaggy and Scooby respectively. We turn the page and our story begins. We open on a panel of a conference hall, dark, late at night. There are no people inside, just empty rows of chairs and a temporary stage. A sign near the front reads, "This Saturday, join us for the unveiling of a priceless artifact from Moon Harbor history." The moonlight shines through the window and illuminates the room in a hollow blue. We then see that exact same panel again, except there's a silhouette of a woman shadowed in the moonlight. Then a crash and glass rains down into the room. The woman drops in from above, saying, "And here I thought there'd be security." She lands on the stage. In front of her is a case covered in heavy black fabric. Her long nails run along it as she murmurs, "Well, hello there, gorgeous. What could you be hiding?" Then she rips the fabric off with a flourish, and we cut immediately to Lucy. Lucy, you are at work. Actively, like, you're internshipping. Internshipping is now a verb. You are internshipping. Dr. Francine Develine, one of the other professors on the project, who's not your direct mentor, but one of the other higher-ups, comes running over to you. You know that she's the head of the archaeological team that discovered the artifact that's being presented at the end of Moon Harbor Heritage Days. Her face is lined with worry as she comes up to you. Where do I find campus security?
They should be right down the hall and to the left. Is everything okay?
Francine looks at you and she's like, no, it's gone. It was stolen. It's gone.
It?
And she just kind of like gestures towards the conference hall.
Oh, it.
And then she turns and she runs out. And she runs directly past Max, Amber, and Al. Max, Amber, and Al, every year your school goes to Moon Harbor University as part of the Heritage Days Festival. It's both a promotional and a recruitment effort, and a chance for you all to like wander through galleries and the small museum of Moon Harbor history. As high schoolers, it's not super structured, so you get some freedom to move around and explore in a very limited sense. You are in the hallway by the between the museum and the conference room, and you see this like professor like run past you. What do you do?
And I think we get a panel of Max like leaning over, looking after her, and like Squire poking her head out of my backpack.
Can we also get a panel of Lucy sticking her head out the whatever door this professor just popped out of?
Absolutely.
So I guess professors can get away with running in the hallways.
Right?
But when we do it,
I think at that, Lucy probably turns around and notices the three of them and is like, "Can I help you?"
Where's the gift shop?
Down the hall and to the right. Is there anything else?
What's through there? Like pointing at the door you're leaning out of.
Offices.
She seemed upset. Is everything all right?
Nothing you have to worry about. Are you guys here on the high school for the tour?
Yep.
Awesome. Well, we've got a couple of pretty cool exhibits coming up. If you go through the gift shop, you'll be able to see some of our other interesting galleries. I think she's saying this as she's walking down the hallway to try to follow Francine to figure out what the hell is going on.
Excellent. At that moment, as Lucy's out in the hallway with you, about to walk past, two security guards come running past. One of them is a little bit older, one of them's a little bit like more mature, and the other one is probably like no more than like 21. His name badge says Justin, and he like runs directly into Lucy.
Ow!
And then he like pulls back and he's like, "Oh, hey, sorry."
Jesus fuck, Justin, watch where you're going.
You can't talk to me like that. I'm at work. Also, it's not Justin, it's Officer Michaels. And then he points down at his badge where it clearly says the name Justin.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm at work too. Can I help you?
Yeah, but your work's like books and stuff.
If you're running towards the thing I think you're running towards, you need to know what the books and stuff are to know what the thing is. So
we were just told there's a break-in and we're here to like check it out. So you know, we don't need books. We can just like look at the camera feed or whatever.
Can we get a panel of Max and Amber grinning at each other at the word break-in?
I was about to ask for that.
I think Lucy probably rolls her eyes in a dramatic fashion, like gestures him towards the hallway, like, "After you, Your Highness."
And we see Francine walking out of the security office with the like more mature of the security guards, and Justin like comes up and like meets them, and the three of them walk into the conference hall.
So I want to go where they all came out of to the security office, because that's probably got the camera feed.
Excellent. It doesn't look like there's anyone in there. Lucy, you see them going towards the security office. What do you do?
Hey, wait, you're not allowed in there. And she chases after them.
I think we get a panel of Squire jumping out of my backpack and running towards Lucy with the intent of like running between her legs and trying to get Lucy to chase the other way.
That sounds like a provoke.
That's an 11.
Great. So if they don't do it, they get the stick, and if they do it, they get the carrot. We add a team to the pool.
And I think we get panels of like Max also starting to run after Squire, going, "Oh, my raccoon!"
Lucy is not going to run after the raccoon. I think it'd be actually great if she tries, like, if she yells, "Is that a raccoon?" and then just scoops Squire right up.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers to see if you can catch Squire.
And while Lucy's doing this, I'm gonna like meaningfully look back at Amber. I'm gonna try to buy as much time as I can.
Oh yeah, I'm straight up sprinting down the hallway.
That's a 6.
All right. So on a 6, that's a fail. So Squire, as you like bend down to pick up Squire just like climbs up over your shoulder and like keeps running, and then Max runs directly into you, and the two of you just fall over.
God, what is with people running into me today? Why did
I'm
you
so,
bring a
so
raccoon?
sorry.
Why do you have a raccoon in a museum?
She's my best friend.
And with that, I want to cut over to Amber and Al in the security office.
Is there like a like one of those computers with all the camera feeds?
Yeah, there absolutely is.
Sweet. Yeah, I'm going through and I've like sat down and I'm at the computer trying to like go back in time to see what happened.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers.
Oh, that's an 8. Oh god, what would I mark? I'll mark insecure.
Perfect. You hack into the system, and we see you like strolling back through time, and then we see like a figure like ziplining out, and then like a clarification shot, and like zooming in. We see Vixen riding like a zip line out of the room, and as she's going, she like turns and winks at the camera, and then she's gone.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
And with that, we're gonna pull back a little bit, and we're gonna like get like a reflection off the computer. We see like a different computer screen, and we see a flashback of Alan. Alan is sitting beside the boxing ring from the MMM headquarters, typing on a small laptop. Above him, Mobster and Queen Bee are fighting. They're very angry, very vicious. And then we get a cut over to like the emails that we see Alan writing. One of them is directed to Saber, directed to Glacier. It says, "We never found Queen Bee, that we had an altercation with several members of the MMM. More details to follow." Then there's a second email, and it says, "Amber, I'm sorry. I have something to tell you, and it's going to be really hard to hear, but I've been working for Saber and reporting back." And then the last email is just really short, and it says, "Max, I'm sorry. You are a hero. Love, A." And then we're going to cut back to the team. Like, we pull back and see a security officer, the big, like, grizzled one, not Justin, standing in the doorway, and he grabs the two of you by the shoulders and, like, pushes you out of the museum, like, into the quad. About a moment later, we see Max and Squire just come, like, tumbling out of the door as well.
I think we get like a censored middle finger from Squire. I head over to the group, like, "Amber, did you find out anything?"
Amber like looks over at Max. "You remember Vixen?"
Yeah. Oh. Is Lucy here during this bit?
I think we pull back and we see a shot of, like, Lucy, like, in the doorway eavesdropping on all of you.
I'm into that.
I mean, I think we can do this. Like, I mean, last time we saw her, you punched her in the face. It was great.
Al, you in? It sounds a lot more fun than this thing.
I'm always in for a reverse heist.
I think this is just a regular heist.
I mean, aren't we stealing something that was stolen though? So aren't like we like the good guys?
Well, we're supposed to always be the good guys, but yeah, I think we're in the clear on this one. Let's go
Yeah.
heist.
Reverse
let's go.
heist.
Lucy, we see you like hearing all of this, and then I think the next thing we see is like the three teammates like splitting up, or rather, Amber and Rascal King, Amber and Max leaving, and then like a minute later, like they reconvene in costume, and Al like materializes his costume, so you get to see like the three of them standing in the middle of this like college campus, and you see like the three of them become heroes. So the next thing we see is the three of you walking through the city. Machina, Rascal King, and Blue Samurai are walking through the city, traveling through the city however we travel.
Could I try using my move, All the Best Stuff?
Yeah, go wild. What's that move?
You've compiled access to caches of equipment and weaponry other supers have hidden in the city. So I want to try to see if I can get us a ride.
Cool. Go ahead and roll plus savior. Are you going with a like saber vehicle thing? Are you going with a like rider villain or rider bike? Are you going with like a villain bike? How are you trying to get us ride?
Yeah, if it's a hero's, you roll plus savior, and if it's a villain's, you roll plus danger. I'm gonna go with villains since my danger is higher.
Cool. So yeah, you know from your dad that the MMM has a like garage not too from the like, edge of campus. So yeah, you got a 10 plus.
Yeah, on a hit, you find a tool or intel useful to your situation, and the GM will detail.
Awesome. So yeah, you get to this garage for the MMM. It's right by the edge of campus. A professor from the university is in the MMM, but no one really knows who. They're in disguise. So there's a garage on the edge of campus, and inside you find a couple different vehicle options that I'll let you pick from. There's a mobster cycle, which is like it's a pretty sleek motorcycle. It's probably only going to be good for like one person. There's a tank, like a full tank, or there's a like armored SUV car, and then there's also like a couple bicycles.
I want the mobster bike.
The mobster cycle is bright red, very sleek, and there are like a lot of buttons that you don't know what they do, but they look like weapons.
I'm so about this.
Cool. Do you want to all three of you hop on the back of this mobster cycle?
In the background of this, I'd like to be standing up the tank. Like, Amber, can I take this one?
No, and no.
I'd just like Al like pointing and nodding along with Max, like, yeah, this one.
I think we cut over and we see Squire inside the SUV. The door was locked. We don't know how Squire got in there, but like inside the SUV holding the keys out the window.
Yeah, I'd like Squire to toss the keys to Al.
Squire tosses the keys to Al.
I'm gonna catch him and like wink at Squire.
Squire spoons. So Flyby, have you changed into costume? Have you like...
Yeah, it's basically because it's like basically athleisure. It's just sort of in the bottom of her backpack. It's like very Spider-Man, janky for a little while.
Perfect. So yeah, you have been following them and you got to the entrance of this garage. You're probably far enough away that you can like see into the garage, but they can't see you. What do you want to do?
Which vehicles are they choosing at this point? Is it just the bike or are they picking the SUV as well?
There's someone at the SUV, someone at the tank, and someone at the bike.
I think at this point I've probably joined over at the SUV.
Okay, you got 2 people at the SUV and 1 person at the bike.
I think she's going to try to assess the situation and, like, fingers crossed, hope they pick the SUV, because then she can, like, try to cling on to, like, the top or the back with those reflexes she's got.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to assess the situation. Cool. On a 7 to 9, ask 1.
I'm thinking.
While you think about that, I think we're going to jump back over to the 3 of them. We've got 2 people at the SUV now, and then Machina's by the bike. You're going to have a conversation, or you're just going to go?
I'm good to just roll out.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
I think the only conversation would be just agreeing that she should take the bike and we can be like in the SUV for a getaway.
I'm down.
Yeah, and I would say my question is, like, what here can I use to follow them?
So this armored SUV has like 2 very large handles on the back of it. And it's like, when I say armored, it's like the entire thing is chrome plated. There are no windows except for like the front windshield. You could probably just catch onto the back of it and just like ride along the back of it.
That's the plan.
You could also probably land on top of it, so that'd be a little bit less subtle.
I'm probably going to go in the back if I can have the choice, unless something prevents me from doing so.
Cool.
I have a slight question, like for a conversation I just had a thought of about. I'm gonna walk up to Max and say, "Hey Max, can you live stream from your phone, or like from one of your phones?"
Yeah. Instagram.
I have an idea for in case we need a little bit more firepower. If you're picking up what I'm putting down.
I'm not, but I'm into it.
Cool. All I need you to do is live stream this garage.
I think I should check with Amber. And then I think this might be the first time Max has ever shown restraint in his life.
There's a panel of, like, a cutout in the corner of that panel of all the writers, like, sighing a sigh of relief.
Also, I want to use this conversation as a distraction to try to, like, run behind the SUV and latch on while they're distracted. Also, before they start live streaming.
Cool. I think you can just go ahead and do that. You don't need to roll or anything for that. Just you can sneak up behind them.
I do that.
Was this conversation within Amber's earshot?
I think so.
Okay.
So you guys, I assume Amber walks up, and I have to now explain myself to these two. So
My finger's hovering over the go live button the whole time.
if I can see this garage, I can create a portal here. Now, I'm not saying things are going to go bad, but things could go bad. And a tank definitely will help a situation go unbad.
I don't think we want to bring a tank into this.
The tank is only a backup. Just trust me, guys.
And we're already taking a bike in an SUV.
Yeah, but that's the best part, is we don't have to take the tank. What if there's a villain there and they're, like, too strong for us? Like, the tank's not going to be too weak for this villain, you know? It's a tank.
No.
I think I want to provoke.
Cool. You're provoking Max.
No, Amber, because I think if I'm understanding correctly, Max is kind of just on the edge, so if I can get Amber on our side, then I feel
Cool.
like Max will be on my side.
That's gonna be a roll plus superior.
Yeah, Max's only reservation, so this seems like Amber's place, and he doesn't want to blow up this spot.
Yeah, also I feel like Amber is definitely seeing herself as like leader of this team after Alan's gone.
Yeah,
It's-
that's what Max has seen as well.
So that's a 9.
Cool. On a 7 to 9, you choose one. If they do it, they add a team to the pool, and if they don't do it, they mark a condition. You can pick one of those two.
Okay, I think I would give a condition then, because she's probably going to be really angry with me for having to argue with her, and I'm yelling at her, so I think angry would be the best one in this case.
Cool. So either you do it or you mark a condition. Angry would work, or whichever one you want to. Could be up to you.
I'm gonna take angry.
Cool. I think we see that conversation. I think the end of this conversation, we actually cut over to Flyby on the back of the SUV, listening to this conversation. What is your reaction to this conversation that you're hearing?
I'm just like rolling my eyes, just like, okay, come on, let's just go. Come on, let's just go.
And do we just go at this point?
Yeah, I think Amber like gets on the bike, like revs the engine, and it just flies out of there.
I want to have like a panel of a thought bubble whenever this SUV leaves of like, please God powers, please work.
Al's just going to throw his hands in the air and get behind the wheel of the SUV.
Speaking of powers, once I get in the SUV, I'm trying to find something to fill my line on no powers and not nearly enough training. Can I search through like the glove box and such? See if there's some odds or ends. If you want me to roll an assess and try to find like what here is useful to me.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's roll an assess. Cool. Go ahead and mark potential. As you're rooting through, you find a button kind of like underneath the radio. There's like a panel that like flips up. And as you flip up the panel, there's like a green button. And I think you press it. And this armored SUV starts lifting up off the ground and floating through the air.
Oops.
Al's eyes are just huge, and like he glances over at Max, and just the biggest, most shit-eating grin just comes across his face.
I am horrified.
Amber's afraid of heights, so I'm really glad that I took the bike right now.
Yeah, I think the next panel we get is Amber driving, and all of a sudden the SUV just passes over top of you. Are you all going straight over to Vixen's place, or are you going to your, like, you have a bit of a hideout that I'll explain in a second, but are you going to the hideout? Are you going to, it's not even a hideout, you have a place you can go, or are you going to Vixen's place first, or somewhere else?
Could we have a panel of me sticking my tongue out at Amber as we fly over her?
Absolutely.
Yes.
I think Vixen's place.
Cool.
Yeah, that's what I would lean towards.
Here's something. If the SUV is flying over Amber, does Amber see me?
You were on the back, so unless you move to jump on top, Amber fully sees you at this moment.
I'm not mad at that. That'd be kind of fun.
Cool. I think we get a moment of the two of you making eye contact, and then the SUV like kicks into like hyperdrive and just kind of like lifts up and out of the city.
Can we get a panel of like Machina kind of gets like this smile of like, ooh, this is getting interesting.
Absolutely. And then I think we cut to arriving at Vixen's place. You probably arrive and it's just starting to be sunset, so it's still pretty light outside. And I think we get the panel of the bike arriving, and by all accounts, you should have been going slower than them because they weren't dealing with like traffic. But you don't see them anywhere. And then we get a panel of the SUV just kind of like crash landing from the sky in front of you.
Part of that panel, can Al just get out, throw the keys, and just be like, nailed it.
Absolutely. As it crash lands, Lucy, I think you either can jump off or you're going to kind of like get bounced off the car when it lands.
I think I'm gonna try to jump off and like hide myself, and like knowing that. Well, here's a question: do I know that Machina has seen me, Or do I not know that yet?
We locked eyes.
Then I am probably going to try to jump off before it crash lands and find someplace to hide. So it's not immediately like, who was on the back of that car?
Go ahead and roll to unleash your powers. See what that looks like for you. All right, so we get the panel of this glorious leap off the back of the SUV as it's kind of crash landing. We get like the sun like set kind of behind you, illuminating you, that flare over your shoulder. And then the next panel is you crashing into the branch of a tree. And then the next panel is you just like falling on your back, flat on the ground, next to Machina.
Hey there, Stowaway. What's up?
I'm just like groaning and rubbing whatever parts of my body just slammed into a tree, which was all of it.
Machina's gonna get off her bike and like send out a hand like to help her up.
I'll take that hand.
And then at that moment, that's when we get Al jumping out and like tossing the keys down, being like, nailed it. I think we see Squire immediately after like stumble out like woozy. Her face is all green, which is fun because she's a raccoon. Max, what are you doing as you get out of this car?
We get a panel with Max has not emerged yet, and there's like a loose panel on the SUV, and Max just kicks it off and then like falls out through the hole of it.
Perfect. And now you're outside Vixen's house. The security is still there, and I think like the security is all like looked at you. Vixen's mansion is at like the top of a hill, so you landed outside her house, but like you're not like directly outside her house. You're like outside the gates, and so they see you. And I think they make it clear that they see you by like putting hands on guns on belts. What do you want to do?
Do you guys want to do this the easy way or the hard way?
The sneaky way.
Easy way it is.
This isn't the ice cream shop at all. Come on, guys. I'll walk into an alleyway.
Can we do a panel of like Machina turns to Flyby and like no introductions, nothing, just like that was actually a pretty cool stunt. You ever wanted to do a heist?
I guess I am now.
Hell yeah.
I like that after Blockade, everyone just kind of is like, new teammate, whatever, this seems right. Like, I imagine it's kind of the, like, mentality of superheroes across the city for a little bit is like, new teammate? Great, cool, moving on. So Max is heading into an alleyway.
I'm following Max because we got to do it the sneaky way.
Yep, following.
Yep.
So you all head into an alleyway. It's weird there's an alleyway across the street from a mansion, but, you know, Moon Harbor's a weird city. You all walk into this alleyway.
Oh, I'm Machina, by the way.
Wait, who's your friend? Where'd you come from?
Back of the car?
I like a panel of just Max and Al like looking at each other like a little confused, like, because I like to think Al was not driving safe.
Max's like hand on the back of his head, like, did I get a concussion?
It was a pretty cool stunt, so I figured she could be fun.
It's your call, just like always. And then I'm gonna just kind of kick the ground a little.
Are you trying to shift my labels?
I think I do want to.
Cool, what do you want to shift?
Because of the fact that she keeps like undermining me, I think I would shift her superior up and probably her mundane down.
I'm rejecting that.
On a 7 to 9, you can choose one. You clear a condition or mark potential by immediately acting to prove them wrong. You shift one label up and one label down, your choice, or cancel their influence and take +1 forward against them.
I'm going to mark potential. Yeah, and I think I'm gonna like cross my arms and be like, okay, cool. What did you want to do?
Nothing, I guess. Whatever. It's whatever. It's fine.
Max is real awkwardly trying to look Obi at his feet. Who's making the plan?
I'll just portal us in. It's whatever. If anybody's okay with that, I'll just portal us in. It's fine.
You have to see to get in there?
Does anybody have any binoculars?
While this is all happening, I want to be like tapping into my supernatural senses to see if I can try to find a weak spot, so a place for us to get in.
Cool, go ahead and roll to assess the situation. Mark that potential.
Yikes.
So yeah, tell me how you're like looking at how are you using your senses to like look for a weak spot or whatever?
I think at this point, because she's still so new to her powers, she's not quite sure how to like fully harness them yet. I think she's like just sort of scanning back and forth, trying to be like, okay, come on, let's find something.
Cool. So I think we get a panel of you like looking back and forth, and then one of the security guards sees you. He grabs his walkie, and I think with your like senses, I think you can like either read his lips or hear what he's saying. And he's like, "Boss, there are some weird kids trying to scope out the place. I think you should be prepared for, I don't know, supers or some shit."
Immediately as he says that, I'm like, guys, hide, down, low, cover, get out of their eyesight.
Al just blinks out of existence. He's just portals away.
Squire and I are jumping into a dumpster.
Where's Amber going?
Lights in her suit on her suit are turning off, and she's just like ducking down, trying to find some cover.
Cool. I think a security guard walks into the alley, and this is a like Vixen, as everyone knows. Carla Montego is like a multi-millionaire, so her security staff is 6'6", big built men, and a lot of them are themselves supers, men and women, and non-binary people probably. But a couple of them are themselves supers. So the one who walks into the hallway or into the alley, you all recognize as the vampire. He is a 6'6", like muscle bound brute of a person. And his whole thing is when he grabs you, he like sucks your energy out. I don't think he sees you right now. I think you all are hidden, but he's standing at the entrance and he's like, "Hey kids, it's all good. We're not gonna hurt ya. You just need to leave now."
From a nearby rooftop, I want to jump onto him and like just start punching the shit out of him to try and knock him out.
Go ahead and roll to directly engage. And as we're doing this, I think that we are entering battle against a dangerous foe. Who do you think is in charge right now? Who's our leader?
Apparently Amber, but whatever.
Yeah, Amber.
If the leader has influence over every other teammate, add another team.
Not with Flyby joining.
Does everybody have the same purpose in the fight? This is specifically the fight against the vampire. Blue Samurai, what is your purpose in the fight?
My purpose is to get rid of the threat so that we can safely get into the building without getting caught by anyone else.
Cool.
Same.
Anybody have a different purpose in the fight?
Something similar, but because the nature of my powers is non-confrontational, I'm also trying to like stay out of the way as much as possible and be more on the defense than the offense.
Cool, that works. That's still a similar goal.
Yeah, I'm same.
Cool. All right, so that's another team. Does any team member mistrust the leader of the team or the team itself?
No, she's just being a brat.
You're bringing the attitude. No, we're good.
No, I don't mistrust anyone.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Are we ill-prepared or off-balance?
I think we're prepared. We knew we were coming in for a heist at a well-security mansion.
And I think we would have been without the warning from Flyby.
Cool. Well, then I think we are at 14. Blue Samurai, you got a 9. On a 7 to 9, you pick one.
Pick one. I want to take something from them. I want to take their walkie and throw it to Machina and say, kill it. Like, telling her to, like, overload the walkie so it can't be used by him if he isn't obliterated by my punches.
Cool. So tell me what the panels of you punching him look like. Like, show me, like, walking through a couple of those panels visually.
The first panel of him walking down with his gun, he's like, hey, come on, kids. And then it's going to be like a underbody shot, if that makes sense. So, like, you can see the night sky above him, and it just shows Blue Samurai, like, coming down, be like a spider monkey on this dude. And then the next panel is of he and I crumbling to the ground, and then the last panel is just punch after punch right in his stupid face.
Cool. Yeah, he takes his punches, and you get the walkie and toss it away. And then he just reaches up and just grabs you by the face. And, like, normally when he engages people, he just kind of, like, grabs them and, like, sucks their powers. For you, he just grabs you and just, like, flings you up and off of him, like, into a pile of trash in the alley. Go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for me.
Oh, wait. Low numbers are good. Yes. Oh,
yep.
Whew.
Cool. So mark potential, and then tell me how you weather the blow.
So he doesn't try and drain me at all. He just throws me.
Yeah, he just wants you off of him.
Okay, so as he throws me, I'm gonna, because I'm kind of getting used to the idea of the throwable portals. I've used them quite a lot since Blockade. So I'm just gonna, as he throws me, I'm going to throw the hilt of my sword. It's not out, it's just the hilt for right now. I'm gonna throw it, open a portal, and then just come out of a different portal standing straight up, like with sword in hand, ready to go.
Ooh, I love that. All right, I think our next up is probably going to be Flyby. Flyby, you saw all this happening from where you were. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna try to assess the situation.
Go ahead and roll to assess the situation for me. Perfect. On a 7 to 9, you can ask one.
How can we best end this quickly?
You know that the vampire can't handle like energy overload. Like he's got like a full like a limit to how much he can absorb, and he doesn't just absorb like energy from people. He can absorb energy from like electricity or from like even like things like fire. Overloading him with some sort of energy would be able to like just shut him down essentially.
Machina, blast him.
Machina, what do you want to do?
I want to. Well, I have the walkie-talkie that Blue Samurai just tossed me. I want to drain its battery and then use that to shock him.
Cool. Go ahead and roll to. I'm gonna say that's to directly engage a threat.
Create an opportunity for your allies, and I want to impress, surprise, or frighten the opposition.
So I think he hears like Machina, blast him. He looks up just as this like wave of electricity just washes over him. His eyes widen in surprise, and I think he stumbles backwards and brushes against the wheel of the bike. And I think his last thing before he like shuts down is he just throws the bike down the alley at all of you. But I think Amber, you're kind of the most, or Machina, you're kind of the most central. So go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for me.
Can I be diving out of the dumpster and try to tackle Amber out of the way?
Yeah, you go ahead and roll to defend first. Cool. On a 7 to 9, it costs you expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation.
I'm going to expose myself to danger, and I'm going to clear a condition.
So yeah, you push Machina out of the way, and I think the back wheel just kind of catches you on the shoulder. I don't think it hits you fully. I think it just like kind of knocks you off balance and knocks you out into the corner. Go ahead and roll to take a powerful blow for me. On a
Man.
10 plus, choose one.
I would just like to say, throwing motorcycles at people, not a cool move.
Yeah,
Hey kids,
nobody
don't
can
throw
do that.
motorcycles.
I think I'm going to lose control of myself or my powers in a terrible way.
Cool. Do you want to tell me how that happens? Or do you want me to do that for you?
The motorcycle clips me in the shoulder and like kind of goes crashing down behind. I kind of fall with it, and then we get a. What's his condition at the moment?
He's on the ground. That was the last of his like standing ability.
Okay, then we get like a shot of him at the end of the alley, and then a revving, and then Max just flying full speed at him on the bike.
Cool. He's on the ground, so you're just gonna run him over if you do that.
Well, I've lost control of myself, so I don't think I can't.
Cool. Yeah, you just like run him over fully. I think he was actually like pulling himself to like pushing himself up as the motorcycle like slams into his shoulder and just sends him spiraling, and he's officially down. And you roll into the street. We're going lighthearted after the end of Blockade, so this is just like we get the like almost comical anime effect of like super super wide eyes, like oh mouth, like oh no, and then he gets smacked with a motorcycle, and it's like it was like flying backwards into a pile of trash.
It's Scooby-Doo.
Cool. So what is next, y'all?
Let's get in there.
Cool. So from where you are right now, you can see like her roof from the alley. You can't see much more of her building than that, but you can see like her roof and like maybe into a window or so if you had binoculars or something that could zoom in.
Or my fancy eyes, my special eyes.
Does anybody know about her special eyes?
I don't think so.
So I would be like, hey, does anybody have a pair of binoculars? Like, so I can see over there?
No, I don't think so.
Well, we can just teleport onto the roof and hope there's nobody up there. But I can't tell if anybody's up there. I can only see the roof.
I'm trying the scan again as this is happening.
Cool. I think this one is well within your limits. I think that you're looking at the roof, and the roof is pretty clear. There's a lot of security on the grounds, but the roof is fine.
Yeah, the roof is probably our best bet. I'd say let's go to the roof.
Al pulls his mask down and he smirks, and he just drops a handful of dust, and then a portal opens beneath you all, between all of us, and then we're on the roof.
I think once we get on the roof, can Amber just like give out a light punch and be like, dude, you've got to stop doing that.
Al's just gonna shrug and like kind of like wink.
That was a weird sensation.
That was super cool.
All right, so you're on the roof. There's 4 big, like really, really large windows that seem to look into kind of a ballroom-esque room. As you all know, Carla Montego is not one for subtlety. Her house is essentially a palace. And inside, you see her just like waltzing. She's not waltzing with anyone. She's just waltzing on her own. Fox, the fox, is in the corner and kind of just like surveying the situation. You're all probably pretty like unseen right now, but you can see her just like waltzing in the middle of the room on her own.
Okay, so maybe we should not go in that room.
I like a panel of Max like looking in through the window, then just looks back. The rest of the team goes, I could cause a distraction.
Go for it.
So I got a real bold plan where I'm just gonna go in there and try and dance with her while you all do this heist.
I love
I
that.
was afraid you were gonna say that.
Is there a window, like a roof? What's the skylight I can jump through? Because that's the most dramatic way to enter.
You're on like the secondary level of roof, so you're in front of these 4 big windows. There's another level of roof that's a little bit higher. If you could get up there, you could get to the skylight. There is a skylight in this room.
Oh, I absolutely want to go in through the skylight.
Cool. That's about a 45-foot drop from the skylight to the ground.
I'm an acrobat.
Okay, cool. The skylight doesn't look like it opens. You could maybe break it.
Oh, I want to bust through it. If it opened, I wouldn't have opened it.
Okay, cool. I want you to roll to unleash your powers to see if you
Totally
can,
fine.
Yeah, if you can land this without dying.
Cool. Squire is definitely like grabbing on my back and counterweighting this.
Perfect. 5. Does anyone want to throw team in to help? We want to burn 2 team to make sure Max doesn't die here? Or are we just letting
I'm willing. As he crashes through, you can see. I imagine that like he crashes through, and instead of like gracefully falling, he's flailing, like he's not gonna land it. So instead, I'd like to spend a team to maybe open a portal underneath, and then he'll just fall through the portal, and then just again a portal will just appear vertically, and it'll just push him out, so he doesn't like fall too hard or nothing.
Cool. And then we need one more person to spend team. How else is someone going to help?
He's falling. I'm gonna look around. I'm gonna point, and I'll be like, "There. That's where the portal should go."
I'll just give like a curt like nod down, like that like cool guy like one shake, and then I'll just throw a rock where she's telling me to throw it.
Cool. So yeah.
I'm going to mark insecure.
Perfect. The portal opens, you fall through, and the portal opens vertically. And I think you like tumble literally from where you were just falling into Vixen's arms.
I'm going to look up at her and go, is your dance card full?
She grins and she's like, and Vixen is always drawn pretty fox-like. She's got like very angular features. If it isn't my little friend from the prison. New costume? He looks sharp.
Getting there. And I think we like swoop into a dance. Moon Harbor Heroes is produced by Anthony Sheets and TP Huth, and edited by Anthony Sheets. Anthony can be found on Twitter at IcyNewYear, or at IcyNewYear.com. T is the host of Incubator on Air, a new play podcast available on iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play. She can be found at T Huth Playwright on Twitter, or TPHuth94 on Instagram. Cataclysm Crew is GM'd by TP Huth. Flyby is played by Jane Barry. You can find her at Jane-Tarzan on Twitter. Rascal King is played by me, Anthony Sheets. Machina is played by Elliot Peterson. She can be found at Elliot Yulin on Instagram. Blue Samurai is played by William Hendry. You can find him on Twitter at RockoutWill321 or on Steam as Cypress_Grunham. Our logo was designed by Beautiful Beasties. She can be found on Instagram at beastly.doodles or at patreon.com/beautifulbeasties. The music of this issue is Mistake the Getaway by Kevin MacLeod. A link to his website and the license will be in the show notes. If you want to get a hold of us, email us at moonharborheroes@gmail.com or find us on Twitter at moonharborcast. If you enjoyed this issue, please leave us a review on iTunes and tell a friend. Word of mouth and 5-star reviews are really the best way for us to keep bringing these stories to more people. If you'd like to support us financially, check us out on patreon.com/moonharborheroes. Supporting us there will give you access to bonus episodes each month. And thanks for helping us save the world. We'll see you next issue.